I'm like a few hours away from hopping on a plane and flying to Houston right now. I was sitting here looking at the lineup of videos that I had pre-recorded before I leave, and I was like, there is a lot of unboxings here. Let's sprinkle a little Godzilla Explained in the mix so that people can stay happy. Alright, spoiler warning for Godzilla King of the Monsters. If the title and thumbnail didn't do it for you already, by the way, I'm sorry about that. There's just no other way to go about this. How do I hide it? I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys will have ideas and be upset because I definitely haven't given you like 2 full weeks to go see the movie, but whatever, you know what? It's time. In this video, we will be doing Burning Godzilla Explained, explaining how Godzilla hulks up into Burning Godzilla, why it doesn't kill him, everything like that. But is it Burning Godzilla? I don't know. I mean, I sometimes call him Burning Godzilla. A lot of the time I'll refer to him as Scarlet Godzilla because he shares almost the same exact design as Scarlet Godzilla Earth. But the toys call him Fire Godzilla, which just sounds like a horribly laughable name to me. Who thought Fire Godzilla was cool? That sounds really dumb in my opinion. You could go with Super Godzilla, have it be a cool throwback. You could call him, I don't know, I just call him Scarlet Godzilla or Burning Godzilla, you know? Don't call him Fire Godzilla, that sounds silly. Godzilla starts King of the Monsters somehow stronger than he was in the 2014 film. I don't know exactly how that works. It's kind of been a thing in the Monsterverse where the 2014 movie, he was just weaker. You see him in Godzilla Awakening, he's pretty strong, probably stronger than the 2014 movie. You get to the 2014 film and like a building nearly kills him and he just gets his butt handed to him. You cut to Godzilla Aftershock and he is hunting down this Muto Prime. Sure, it kicks his butt multiple times, but at least there you're like, oh, I get it. It's because this thing is literally the Godzilla killer. So you understand. And then you cut to Godzilla King of the Monsters and he is powerful. I mean, he doesn't lose a single fight with Ghidorah. He dies at one point, but that's not Ghidorah's fault. That's the oxygen destroyer that kills Godzilla. Ghidorah doesn't get that victory. Ghidorah hardly gets a victory on him in the Arctic. I'm just saying Godzilla starts out this movie stronger than he has been before. They don't explain it though. I'm not sure if that plays into him turning into Burning Godzilla or not, but it is certainly the case. But that is right. Godzilla is absolutely killed by the oxygen destroyer about halfway through the film. Before he dies though, he makes it to his underground lair in the Hollow Earth, where he can slowly be revived by the radiation at the core of the temple. We actually find out this is how Godzilla is able to heal from all of his fights. This is where he returns to for a food source. In the 2014 film, we learned that Godzilla feeds on radiation, so in this movie we find out that he's returning to the Hollow Earth to feed on this radiation source, revive himself a little bit. Fearing that Godzilla will take way too long to revive himself on his own, because they do have that idea. Dr. Rick Stanton is like, hey, why don't we just leave him here? He'll be fine. Fearing that he'll take too long because his heart has already restarted and he's slowly being brought back to life, Mark Russell devises a plan to go drop a nuclear bomb on Godzilla. Wake Godzilla up with a nuke so that he can be powered up and fight Ghidorah, because Ghidorah is going to destroy the world otherwise. After the submarine transporting the missiles takes damage upon its entry into the Hollow Earth, the bomb can no longer be delivered via being shot at Godzilla. Not sure how that would work anyways. You shoot this nuke into this underground temple, wouldn't it just blow up beneath it? I suppose there's still enough radiation that would go into Godzilla, but it wouldn't be as direct of an impact. I mean, unless the nuke can fly up out of the water, I have no idea. Probably not though, that just sounds silly. Either way, the bomb now needs to be delivered manually, so Serizawa volunteers to go. Serizawa then goes and detonates the bomb, causing it to blow up. Godzilla absorbs, and yeah, wouldn't you think he detonates a bomb and it explodes? I kind of say some silly things sometimes. Serizawa blows up the bomb, causing Godzilla to absorb a massive amount of radiation instantaneously. We don't know how much radiation he absorbs. We also don't know what the deal with this nuke is. It seems like a normal nuke. However, normal nukes are incredibly heavy, and they're also a lot larger than the one Serizawa carries into that layer. So this could be some sort of mini nuke, and maybe it explodes and causes a chain reaction with that underground toxic environment. I don't know. know. Either way, what I do know is that a massive explosion follows that destroys Godzilla's temple, destroys the outside of Godzilla's temple. Poor Godzilla, he loses his house. Destroys the outside of his temple, throws the submarine out of the water, and supercharges Godzilla. It jumpstarts him like an electric shock. I actually do like the joke that Rick makes where he's like, this isn't like jumpstarting a car. We are going to wake up a giant monster with a nuclear bomb. Like, yeah, you are. But it's pretty much the same thing. So Godzilla rises up out of the water and fires his atomic breath into the sky. This is our first indication that Godzilla is much more powerful than he has been previously. The atomic breath is now way wider than it was previously. It also has a spiral wrap around it, and Godzilla overall just seems to have way more radiation inside of him. Now it's coming through his skin. We can see it peeling through his skin. We can also see it in his eyes. It just seems like it's way more powerful than it was when he uses it in the Arctic. So Godzilla is fully supercharged now. Dr. Stanton does an analysis of Godzilla upon his entry to the Battle of Boston, and he learns that Godzilla is about to reach critical mass. Essentially, Serizawa's bomb worked too well. Godzilla absorbed so much radiation all at once that he has now become a walking time bomb. This is incredibly similar to the plot of Godzilla vs. Destroyer from 1995, where Godzilla spent his time living on a radioactive island that had some sort of meltdown, causing Godzilla to absorb too much radiation, which forced his body into meltdown. Godzilla is given a short amount of time before he goes thermonuclear. Again, that's the same exact thing that happens in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Burning Godzilla is given a few days before he will essentially either explode or implode. I'm not sure which one they actually decide will happen. Originally, Godzilla was supposed to implode. He was supposed to like suck everything into him and die, and then they decided that he was going to explode. He was going to be this massive nuclear bomb that was just going to destroy the entire planet because he had so much radiation built up inside of him. But in this movie, Godzilla is given a short amount of time before he goes thermonuclear. We don't know how powerful Godzilla's explosion will be, but we do know that Godzilla will explode and die if this happens, kind of like what happens in the anime movie. Godzilla will explode and die, so everyone's kind of worried about that, as you would be. We don't know, again, how big this blast would be. It doesn't sound like it would be the apocalyptic event that it was in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. During Godzilla's fight with Ghidorah, Godzilla starts to supercharge even more, and we can slowly see it build up throughout his body. You see Godzilla starts to glow more. His dorsal fins are always lit up. He is constantly using the atomic breath. And again, it's very similar to what happens with Godzilla vs. Destroyer, where Burning Godzilla is slowly overheating during his fight with Destroyer at the end of the film. Also, just like Burning Godzilla, it's kind of implied that neither Godzilla has a proper way to expel the radiation. They will both die as a result of this. That changes in King of the Monsters, though, because we need a sequel. When Mothra sacrifices herself, she turns into some spiritual energy and transfers herself into Godzilla, transfers her life force into Godzilla. Again, it's another Heisei reference. Rodan does the same thing in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 to revive Godzilla after Mechagodzilla has destroyed his second brain. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, this causes Godzilla's skin to crack open. We actually see as Mothra enters his body, Godzilla's skin does peel open and start to glow. This is an indication that Godzilla has finally been given a way to vent his radiation. He will no longer die as a result of it. Godzilla does in fact reach critical mass, and he heats up to such an extreme temperature that everything around him instantaneously melts. All the metal, all the buildings, they just melt away. That is how hot Godzilla is. I'd like to calculate how hot that would be, but I'm just not smart enough. Everything melts around him, and the king charges up for the explosion. The explosion should kill him, and everyone else in the blast radius, which we don't know what the blast radius is, because we don't know how much radiation he absorbed. But the difference here is because Mothra transferred her soul into Godzilla and gave him his new ability to expel the radiation, he does not explode. Instead, he harnesses the energy into a concentrated nuclear pulse. The blast works to get rid of massive amounts of radiation at one time. Every time Godzilla uses the pulse, we hear Mothra's roar, along with we see her fly out of the explosion. We see her wings in the explosion, an indication that Mothra is saving Godzilla's life from beyond the grave. After 3 massive nuclear explosions, that third one is huge, Godzilla returns to his natural state, as we do see when he rises up out of the ground to kill King Ghidorah for the final time. He basically returns to how powerful he was at the start of the film. It'd be interesting to know if he has been weakened by the events of Godzilla King of the Monsters, if that will play into Godzilla vs. Kong. Maybe going critical mass really took it out of the big guy, and that's why Kong's gonna have a fighting chance. Or maybe Godzilla's just right back to where he was, and he's like, well, I don't have a home to go to anymore, so guess I gotta find another entry point to the Hollow Earth so I can recharge. Either way, it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. I don't think Godzilla is going to be able to achieve this burning form like Scarlet Godzilla does. I don't think it's just something he can do. That was a totally different case with Scarlet Godzilla. He could basically turn himself into Burning Godzilla as a way to prevent himself from dying. I'm not sure how that works entirely. It's kind of explained differently in both movies he does it. But in this movie, it seems like Godzilla reaches this point, and then once he gets rid of the radiation, he gets rid of it. Mothra gave him the outlet to get rid of the radiation, make sure he doesn't die. Now that he's done that, I can't imagine it'll happen again. Unless someone blows up another nuke on him, which they could do, I can't imagine that'll happen again. The thing I find interesting is, did this happen to Godzilla back in the 1950s? Wouldn't the same thing have happened? They blew up probably a bigger bomb on Godzilla back in the 50s with the 1954 Castle Bravo test, so why didn't Godzilla turn into Burning Godzilla and destroy the planet or blow up there? That's what I want to know. Maybe it's just a different type of radiation? I have no idea. What I do know is that Godzilla is not going to be Burning Godzilla when he fights Kong, because how unfair is that? Kong would not stand a chance against that. Jesus. I don't know, guys. Did you guys like Fire Godzilla, Burning Godzilla? Do you think it was a cool reveal, or did you think it was just kind of meh? I know a lot of people were like, how does that even make sense? I can't handle a red Godzilla. Come on, he shoots atomic breath. This is where you draw the line? He's done it before. It's a lot of the normies. They don't totally understand that this isn't new for Godzilla. He's been doing this since 95. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time, whenever next time is. Don't know if this video is coming out last or when this is coming out. I'm out of town right now, maybe. I don't know. See you guys next time. D-Man, out.